So hey guys, I just want to do a quick video today. I know everybody's been doing their reviews on the Space Jams that came out this past weekend with the other Space Jams and everything like that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a review or a comparison between the 1995 original Air Jordan 11s and the retro that just came out here. So something to note before we get started, the Concords, are a size 11.5. The Space Jams are a size 11. And the sizing, if I'm going to try to show you guys here, the sizing is almost exact between the two. The length of the shoes, so what I'm trying to say here, I guess the easiest way to say this is a size 11 equals an 11.5 in the originals. Like these, to me, I believe ran a little bit small, obviously like half a size small. So this is going to be the closest comparison. I got a pair of 10.5s and a pair of 11s, size 11s, if that makes sense. So I'll be doing the comparison with the size 11 Space Jam with the 11.5s. And because of the size discrepancy, they should be pretty close to original form. So yep, I guess we'll get into it. So again, this is a pair from 1995, the original Concords, dead stock pair that I have. This one's laced up, the other one's still unlaced. This is the 2016 retro that just came out. So let's we'll start with the bottom, I guess. Start with the outsoles here. The top pair is the original pair from 95. You can see it's yellowed. The OGs had a little bit of a blue tint, just like the retros that came out. It looks like the Concord hits on the traction pods here are a little bit darker on the originals than on the retros, but that could just be because of time. But for the most part, it's the same thing. The shape of the midsole too is pretty much the same. I will say that on the retro pair here, you can see that they have those little dots from the formation of the midsole and everything, which doesn't actually bother me. Like it's just part of the process that happens. So midsole, outsole. Let's take a look at these Jumpman here. So these are obviously the left shoes of each pair. Jordan Brand went back to facing the Jumpman the correct way. So both Jumpman are facing towards the toe as opposed to the left one being facing like back towards the number or whatever. I like this way better. I think it looks truer. But that's just all preference stuff. I'll show you kind of the differences between the Jumpman. So here's the Space Jams. Quality stitching job. This is the 95 Concord. You see it's a little bit messy, but I love the way that this looks. I think it's just a nostalgia thing. I just like how it's a little bit messy and whatever, but I think these are awesome. So let's look at the patent leather cuts. So here's the original 1995s. Let's see if you can see that. So you'll see that white line around the patent leather here. And now with the retros that just came out, you'll see that white line also. That's just the grain of the patent leather on these shoes, so you can actually see it, as opposed to the last retro pairs where they, like, I don't know if they paint them or if they're like completely fake or whatever, but you don't get that line there. So let's move on a little bit. So let's talk about the one thing that everybody's kind of been not complaining about but talking about, which are the peaks that are on the shoes. So here's the 95 pair, and you'll see right there. You'll see right there that there's a small peak there. There's also a small peak right at the toe there. And then also on the other side, you'll see a very small peak. These were very subtle. You can't see them all that much. It's not bad. Here on the retro, they're more prominent, so you can see that pretty clearly. Especially that one right there. But I think MJO23 Dan explained this a little bit. So it's for the people who are putting the shoe together. It's almost like a marker for them. So you can see the leather comes down and meets right there at that peak. So I'm not completely sure. That's what I think they're there for. So it doesn't bother me. I know some people didn't like it, but it is what it is. So let's go to the patent leather cut. Another thing that everybody was kind of like upset about, I guess, was the height of the patent leather, and I've been personally waiting for this for years. Like even those 72 and 10s that came out last year, they just look silly to me. Like they come all the way up to here. I don't know. It's like looks like a dang banana or something, but with a higher patent leather cut. It looks more like the originals that came out, and that's really what I enjoy. The look of the 11 that I like. So I'm speculating here, and I think the patent leather cut in the previous years was to cut back on materials. So I've had a few pairs. I've had the 2012 black and reds. I've had the 2011 Concords and the Columbias that came out like 2 years ago, or the Legend Blues or whatever. And looking at those, I'm speculating, but what I think Jordan Brand did was by cutting back on the patent leather. So if this was a retro pair, the patent leather would be like down here, and it'd cut around about to there, around here, but it'd cut short around this area. And by doing that, they're cutting back on material here. The other thing that I noticed on the retros is you'll notice on some of these are laced really loose right now, but you'll notice on the retros when you tie these up, it's way more narrow coming through here. It's almost like they cut back on material here too. So instead of being up here, it'd be like down here, if that makes sense. So to me, again, speculation. It just seems like they're trying to cut back on material to save money and kick out as many of these shoes as they can. But again, speculating. I don't know if that's completely true, if that's why the shape started going off, but that's what it seemed like to me. So I don't know if this is going to be the easiest way to show you guys, but that's the look of them kind of side by side. To me, the cut's right on the retro that just came out. It looks more like a Jordan 11 to me than the previous retros that have come out. I'm really happy that they finally remastered the 11. We kind of thought that the 72 and 10s were going to be remastered, but it didn't turn out that way. They still had that banana shaped kind of look to them. But yeah, these look great. Actually, let me look at one. We'll look at one more thing before we go. One thing that bothers me about Nike is they don't give you enough length in their laces, but this time it seems like they've gone back to a longer length. The Space Jams are tied up a little bit tighter than the Concords, so they seem a little bit longer, but it looks like they went back to the original length of the laces. So like if you want to, you can actually put the laces in this top loop and tie them, as opposed to where you couldn't in the previous retros. And the thickness of the lace looks to be about the same now too, whereas, and again, in the previous retros they kind of skimped on the laces. So I'm super pumped about this this release. I got multiple pairs in the Space Jams. Still love the Concords are still my favorite colorway of the Air Jordan 11. There's just nothing like them. Guys my age, we kind of grew up watching Space Jam and idolizing Michael Jordan, so to have this shoe kind of in its original form that he wore in the playoffs, if this would have had the 23 on the back, it would have been more original to the movie or whatever. But either way, glad to have these back in OG form. They look beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring myself to wear them. I'm going to try, but that's all, guys. Stay tuned to some of my other stuff. I'm trying to make more content for you guys, but it's just it's busy. It's Christmas. Stuff's happening. So thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if that's something that you guys like to do or whatever. Thank you guys. Hope you're able to get a pair. Hope you have a good Christmas. I'll talk to you later. Bye.